definitely a figure that's gonna incite some flame wars. Hey guys, it's Braden here, and today we're taking a look at the Safari Limited Dino Nanotyrannus. Yes, they actually went there and they actually made a figure of Nanotyrannus. For those unaware, Nanotyrannus is a very controversial genus of Tyrannosaurid that most people agree is just a juvenile Tyrannosaurus rex. The fact that this figure was made as late as 2021, I believe. I'm taking a look at the copyright on the figures, but yeah, 2021. Should show you that this thing, I don't know, but every now and then you hear a story about, oh, Nanotyrannus actually existed because X reason that's usually super circumstantial and very easily could be written off as something else. And I guess that was enough for Safari to decide to do this. That and the fact that this is another figure that is intended as a tie-in to the Dino series, which featured Nanotyrannus at one point. Considering that I think Dino is supposed to be an edutainment series, I really don't see how they thought they could get away with that, but okay. So if you treat this as a Nanotyrannus figure, you're probably going to be immediately writing it off, because why would Safari even make this? Treat it as a juvenile Tyrannosaurus figure, though, and it's actually, it's not bad. We don't get many juvenile Tyrannosaurus figures that are actually, you know, accurate, because most tend to copy the Lost World Jurassic Park design without realizing that design has aged pretty poorly. So you don't see this sort of lithe, lightly built Tyrannosaurid juvenile design that often. Schleich's juvenile Tyrannosaurus, which I do have, but I forgot to go grab it before I started this, was one of the very few examples, I think, of that happening. So this being another example is pretty nice in my opinion. The figure itself is painted in this sort of brownish coat, which, just like the Zool, the paint applications on this are not amazing in certain spots. The head in particular looks a little goofy. It also doesn't help that, kind of like the Safari Deinonychus I reviewed a few years back, the paint looked a lot darker in the stock photos. Like, the stock photos made this look like a much darker brown than the sort of chocolate brown we get here. It doesn't look bad necessarily, but still. There is some very nice scalation detail across it. Pretty intricately detailed. I'll give them credit for that. Although I don't know if this is an issue on every copy of the figure, but on mine, you'll notice the foot has a pretty major spot down there where it looks like they didn't put any paint on it. Oh well. Overall, this is not a terrible figure by any means, but the paint being a little iffy and the fact that they even bother calling this a Nanotyrannus is really where I think most people will be a little iffy with it. So if you aren't convinced by my review here, and if you just can't see this as a juvenile Tyrannosaurus and have to call it Nanotyrannus, then I can't convince you to buy this figure. Overall, I don't think this figure is that horrible as far as depictions of juvenile Tyrannosaurus go, but if I haven't convinced you, then I haven't, so I tried.